Right, next job I want to do is I want to put a weld prep on all the plates that are going as part of that fabrication for the housing. So I've got this little 45-degree cutting head, so I'm going to put in about a 5mm fillet. 6mm wall thickness is what the RHS tube is. So alright, they've come up real nice and even. So we'll do the side plates next and get the preps put onto those. Right, so I'm in feeding about 3.5mm to give me that weld prep. I'll do the other one while we've got that set up. Lots of vibration on that. Alright, so that's all our weld prep's done. So we're ready to sort of start looking at putting this together. First thing is, before we start, we've got to put our internal bosses, which are going to be for our bearings. I'll get them welded on first. Then we'll set up and we'll weld the side plates onto the housing, and then we'll do that cut. So we'll move on from there. Righto, I'm just popping a weld prep onto the RHS housing here. I've done the other side already. Right, so I've left roughly a 2mm land on that. I'll set that up with the grinder. I'll just bevel those out a little bit. Won't need to worry about the bottom side because, as I said, that's got the tapping plate, tapping block that's going to be welded onto it. But I'll bevel the top ones out anyway. Alright, so the next time you see us, we'll be setting up for the welding operations. So we'll see you back then. Okay, we'll do a bit of a recap on where we're at so far. So we've completed all the structural elements for this little housing. This is how it's going to look after we've welded our little bosses into place. We've got our side plates. We've got our front plate. Now bearing in mind that this is going to be cut roughly a quarter in half and then remachined, then this front housing will then sit up about here. We've got our tapping block that goes onto the back, and we've got our the ring that fits onto the back like that. So it's all coming along quite nicely. Welding's not my strongest point, so we'll see how I go with that. But I'm fairly happy with where that's coming up so far. Alright guys, we'll next time we'll see you, we'll be outside getting set up ready to weld this together. As I said, weld the side plates first, and then we'll do some intermediate machining, weld the front on. When the front's welded on, I then want to cut a bore into here to line up our ring, and then we can start machining all of our faces. Alright, I'll see you then. Alright, we'll see how this turns out. Running 2.5mm satin craft rods. I'll put the earth on it. Yes, I need to get myself a new wire brush. Hey Michael. How you going? I'm filming. So there we go. I'll give that a clean up with a wire brush I've got on my battery drill. So, I'll show you what that looks like. And if any of the guys on my crew see this and start laughing, just remember who does your timesheets every day, boys. Alright. Alright, so we've got this welded up. It's important that we take off all the spatter and we clean that right back. We don't want any of that stuff coming loose and going through our worm and worm wheel. So we'll tidy all that right up and get that sorted out. As I said, I'm going to set up on the milling machine. Just take a little lick off here and a little lick off here so that we open up that envelope space so we don't have any fouling issues when we put these together. So we'll get that all tidied up and we'll get that set up. Fortunately you don't see that, but for my purpose it's got a lot of good penetration in there. A little bit of undercut, so I'm happy with that. That's never going to come loose. Righto, I'll get that cleaned up and we'll move on. Alright guys, we've got this set back up in the milling machine. I'm going to take a light lick off this edge here and this edge here, so that when we introduce that up to the housing, it's going to sit nice and flush. Got a little bit of distortion on this, but it's not really going to worry me too much, because we're going to machine that underside nice and flat. So I'll just get that set down a bit. So we've given ourselves a fair land there for that to come up to. I might just take a little bit more off there. We also need to take a little bit off this back edge too, because that front plate is going to be only a few mil away from that boss, so we'll give it a lick down that side as well. Alright, just tidy that up with a file, so I'm happy with that. That's gonna clear everything. Good penetration weld all the way around, so it's not going to move, it's not going to leak. Alright, I'll set up and do the second one, and then we'll get set up for the housing weld. Alright, so starting to weld this little housing up now. I've done one side. The plan is that I'll do across the tops, flip it over, we'll do the bottom, and then we'll do the seams down the back of it. Remembering that these top ones here are going to be machined off. This face has to be machined, as well as the bottom face. The back face doesn't get machined, it's got that compensating ring that we're going to put on. Alright, we'll get going and we'll get this other side knocked off. This one here I'm using the 3.2mm rods, or the 1/8 rods, to lay the weld into this one. I'm pretty happy with that. It's come up quite nice. Right, we'll flip it over. I'll weld out the back, and we'll come back and we'll show you welding out the final rear end. Alright guys, we've welded out the base, and that's come up really nice. We're now going to do the last two runs down the back side of this little housing. So we've pre-run that around. We'll just pick that up and then continue that down to here. Obviously we want this to have some strength, but we also want to make sure that it's leak proof as well. Alright, let's get these last two out of the way. Oh, I've got a little tiny spot I'll just fix up there, but apart from that, it's come up really well. So I fixed up that little spot there. I'll clean that out. I might just meld these corners out just a touch more, just to make them look a bit neater. And that's the job done. So the next part of this will be cutting that back to length and then welding in the 25mm plate. So I'll tidy up these little areas and we'll come back to the cutting. Well, I'm going to do a little bit of machining on this back face with the welding. Obviously when you start putting heat into things and welding things, they tend to pull and twist and warp a little bit, and the back of this RHS is bowed slightly. Maybe about 1mm. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give that a lick on that surface there. This is where that compensating ring is going to be welded onto. Just going to give that a lick just to true that up. I've got it sitting on these parallels. I've got this table vise that I've never used before. I picked this pair up for about $100 from a going at a business sale. A business that was about an hour away from me. They manufactured car elevators for exclusive homes, and had a fantastic product. Did very, very well for a number of years, and then a lot of the cheap Chinese car lifters came into the country for some reason. They got around the compliance issues. He's had to spend an awful lot of money on compliance to meet a particular standard. It just got harder and harder and harder for him. The cheaper products were selling more and more and more, and he ended up going out of business, which was a real shame. I bought a big rotary table off him, but I saw these sitting underneath the table. I made him an offer of $100 for the pair, and as long as I go into a good home, he was happy to let me have them. So I've never used them before on my machine, on this machine at home, but I have used these in the past in a previous life, but first time here at home. So we'll give them a go, and we'll see how they work. But one thing I love about these is, as you do them up on the slides, they actually pull the workpiece down onto the table or onto the parallel. So we'll give it a go and we'll see how we end up. So as I said, it's about 1mm. It's tending to dish in the middle and come up at the ends here. So we'll see how we go. Just take it very, very easy. We've sort of got the lay of the land there, so that's cutting fairly even, so I'm fairly happy about that. As I said, it's just in the middle, so I've got a bit of concavity in the guts of it there. I want to go very slowly. Probably about 1/4 mil. Let's see how we go with that. Well, we know I got another 0.1 mil, and this is just about that for us. really good. That's giving us a nice flat face. Get that compensating ring onto. I've taken off less than 1/2 mil on this, so it's just a clean up, and yeah, that's really good. All right, happy with that. All right, well, the next step we're going to get cut up, set up to do our cuts through here. Get that back. We'll prep it and get ready for the 25mm plate, front plate to go on. So, no, happy with that. Beautiful. Nice to have that extra capacity. Alright guys, we're back again. We're going to start doing this cut. So I've measured from the back face 67mm. The actual machine back length is going to be 62, so I've allowed myself 5mm to clean up on that. My bandsaw, I've got it tuned up and it's pretty spot on, so I'm not expecting any great deviation from the line, but you never know, we'll keep an eye on it. What I've also done is I've got this big stud that I've made up to balance out the jaws on the vise, so that when we do pull this up tight, at least it's on the square. It's only just sort of hanging there, but it is done up very, very tight. And we'll see how we go. We're just going to take it very, very easy and watch it very closely as we go. Right, unfortunately I didn't press record before I started this, but obviously you can see I'm not going to get the full stroke. It's going to foul in on the guide rollers here, the guide bearings. So what I plan on doing is I'm just going to keep flipping this around until we cut through. As I said, I've tuned this bandsaw up and it's absolutely cutting. It's cutting absolutely spot on. Just splitting that line right through on both axes there. So I'll continue flipping this around. If we do end up in any strife, I'll go back to using the 5-inch grinder. But yeah, we'll just keep flipping this around, resetting it up and recutting. So what I've got in the back here before we start the next cut is I've got a stud with a nut that I can adjust up and down to support the jaw so that it doesn't kick in when we apply an even force across there. So once again, as you can see, it's only just hanging on there, but it's got a lot of force on it. There's a lot of force off the blade, so once again we'll just take it very, very easy and we'll see what the result is. Once again, you're going to be able to see that we're only going to get so far with this, and I will probably have to finish a little bit off with the grinder. We'll see how far we get just by flipping it around each time. Alright, so we'll flip that around again and do another cut. So far that's working out quite well. Well, so far that is working out beautifully. Alright, we'll flip it around. Okay. Alright, so it's just missed out by a cat's whisker of cutting all the way through, but that's the result there. I think that That might have been a bit loose in that last one, that's why it did veer off a little bit. I had this nut done up a little bit too far, but there we go. So that's the inside. So we'll come back inside. I'm going to mark out where this back bore is. I'm going to drill a couple of holes in here that we can use as hold down bolts onto the table to machine that face there back to size, ready for that 25mm plate that we're going to weld onto that. But no, it's so much easier than using a grinder. You know, it might take another 15-20 minutes, but I'm sitting there sipping on my coffee while it's doing the work. And people often ask me, what's the most useful machine you've got in your workshop? And it's got to be this little bandsaw. It just saves so much work. It's so versatile. Great little machine. I don't know where I'd be without it. I've done some pretty weird and wonderful things in this, but, and it just keeps going. And as I said, it's dead spot on accurate with its cuts now. So yeah, very happy with this little machine. All right, we'll set up, drill those holes for the for mounting that down against the table, because we have already pre-machined that face, so we know that's nice and flat. And we'll make the front face the same. Righto, back soon.